Second objection. Reward and punishment no longer apply. From there, they go on to assert that if vices and virtues are not produced by free choice, it is not right for man to be rewarded or punished for them. Although this reasoning comes from Aristotle, I perceive too that it is somewhere taken up by both Chrysostom and Jerome. Jerome indeed reveals that the argument was common among the Pelagians, whose words he quotes as follows: "If God's grace is at work in us, the reward will go to grace and not to us who do not work." As regards the punishment which God reserves for wrongdoing, I reply that it is justly deserved, since the sin within us is our fault. It does not matter whether it is a free or forced decision which leads us to sin, as long as we will and desire it, especially since man stands condemned as a sinner, being in bondage to sin. As for rewards for good deeds, how absurd it all is once we concede that God bestows them more out of his kindness than because of our merits. How often Augustine repeats the saying that it is not our merits but his gifts which God crowns in us, and that the reward we receive is not called reward because it is something owed to our merits, but because it is a way of recompensing the graces already conferred on us. Our opponents astutely observe that there is no place for merit if good works do not come from men's own resources. But it is laughable that they should find the idea so strange. The apostle can rid them of that silly idea, provided they observe the principle from which he derives our hope of bliss and everlasting glory. Those, he writes, whom God has chosen, he has called. Those whom he has called, he has justified. Those whom he has justified, he has glorified. Why then are believers crowned? Undoubtedly, according to the apostle, because through the Lord's mercy and not through their own labors, they have been chosen, called, and justified. So let that be an end to the foolish fear that merit will disappear unless free will is maintained. Nothing could be more nonsensical than to flee the very thing to which Scripture would lead us. If you have received all things, says Paul, why do you boast as if you had not received them? He thus denies any power to free will, so as to rule out any form of merit. Nevertheless, according as God is rich and generous in well-doing, he rewards the graces which he has bestowed on us as if they were our own virtues, because in giving them to us, he has made them ours.